Hello, and welcome to Maui Live, Maui's TV and radio show spotlighting Maui's incredible talent. Maui Live is taped live for television and radio each and every week at various locations around Maui. Maui Live features lots of great music and interviews with local celebrities. Maui Live is a production of Larry John Wright Hawaii and Silver Pixel Studios. And now, here's the host of Maui Live, TV and radio personality, Eric John Molina. It's time once again for Maui Live.
Hello, I'm Eric John Molina and welcome to Maui Live, Maui's TV and radio show featuring some of Maui's incredible talent. And we have a special show for you tonight featuring some of Maui's stand-up comedians from Power Up Comedy. Let's get on with the show.
Aloha, welcome to Maui Live. I'm Michael McCartney. Joining us is stand-up comic Teresa Sickles. Where's that name derived from?
It's actually from Von Sickels, which was, I don't really know, to be honest.
Has that kind of
European,
Austrian feel.
Some oppressing nation, I'm sure, from Europe.
Now, how did you get involved in comedy?
Well, basically it seemed the next natural step. My life is a series of very embarrassing moments, and I figured I should tell everyone about them. So that's why I decided to do stand-up comedy.
Having a Twitter account wasn't enough. You had to get on stage and bear it all.
Right? Twitter, Facebook, it wasn't as real. So yeah, to say it in front of everyone with the spotlight.
Did you start very young, or you started
No,
this later
I've been
in
doing
life?
it for a few years now. I started on my birthday, actually. I was planning on going up for my 31st birthday and to do stand-up, and I chickened out. So I said, by the time I turn 32, I'll try stand-up comedy. And or 33, I don't know. And so on my next birthday, I finally did it. But yeah, I had to.
Did you have material though, or did you just jump up and just?
I wrote a couple little stories down that I thought were funny. I think I was up on the stage for a minute, but it felt like several hours, and the microphone was shaking. But once you hear people start to laugh, it really gets addictive and really, really fun.
So from this moment on, I mean, you just kept on going and just building all the energy from the audience and just sharing your worst things that happened to you.
Yeah, it's addictive, actually. It's like therapy, only cheaper.
But do you have days where you go, oh man, nothing happened to me today? And then you force yourself to get embarrassed?
No, every day pretty much. Yeah, something really embarrassing happens every day. It's a lot of material. And then also now that I live with my boyfriend, it seems like that also in and of itself is a lot of
boundless amount of material.
Oh, so much. And he's a comedian too, so it's just constant wealth of material.
And bickering, I would imagine.
A little bit. Mostly we just fight about who gets the joke, and if someone stole someone else's joke. That's kind of what our fights are all about. That's it.
Now, where are you originally from?
From Portland, Oregon. My brother's lived here for 10 years, I believe. His wife is from Maui, and he has 3 beautiful children and 1 on the way. So he had convinced me over time. I came to visit quite a bit to move here. So I first went from Portland to New York and North Carolina and did comedy there, and then came all the way over to Maui. And
what was it like doing the transition? Because there's a lot of comedy, I'm assuming, that's universal, but there had to be a situation in the Carolinas that didn't work on Maui.
Definitely, and especially like New York versus what works here is different. But I think the comedy is way more fun here on Maui. The comedic, the scene and the other comedians are super supportive. It's not, in some bigger cities, it's really competitive. But here, there's some competition, of course, just like anything else, but everyone's really supportive. And I've probably grown more in this last year of doing stand-up with Power Up Comedy as a group than I had before. It's actually kind of amazing to me. And I think it's because we're all so supportive and we just have so much fun.
Now, because you started comedy as an adult, were you going back and stealing material, not necessarily stealing, but looking for inspiration?
Absolutely, yeah. I used not necessarily. I mean, I like to watch comedians like Richard Pryor and things like that, but I don't want to accidentally take their material. So I try to get it all from my own life. And then I also, from past jobs that I've had, like I used to be a flight attendant, a school bus driver. I've had ridiculous amounts of jobs. I used to be in a cult for a little while. So it's like I try to take from those things.
A wealth of
those
material.
Experiences, yeah, and use that in my comedy. But there's lots of comedians that I really like to watch. like Richard Pryor and Russell Brand and Ellen. I really like Ellen a lot. She's really funny.
Well, let's take a listen right now to the stand-up comedy of Teresa Sickles, right here on Maui Live. You better be funny.
Awesome. It's great to be here. My name's Teresa Sickles. I don't know if it's just me, but sometimes I have a problem when I say I'm sorry too much. Like, I'm at the store and I run into a mannequin and I'm sorry. And like at my house, my boyfriend gets really mad at me because I say I'm sorry for everything. And so he's like, how do I know when you're really sorry? He's like, I don't know, just that I seem sorrier. And he didn't like that. So he came up with a word that's really awkward. He said, you know what you should do? You should say oopsie poopsie every time. So you notice that you say you're sorry so much. So like I forgot to put meat on his sandwich. I was like, oopsie poopsie. Or I spilled hot coffee in his lap. Oopsie poopsie. And it was fine until I started doing it in real life. Like I was at a job interview and I forgot my resume and I was like, oopsie poopsie. I didn't get that job. Unemployment, woo! Yay. I also have a problem. Sometimes people think that I'm younger than I am, which would seem like a good problem, but sometimes it's not. Like I used to be a school bus driver and I had to go into the principal's office to talk about a student and they wouldn't let me leave. They're like, where's your pass? I was like, pass? I have a driver's license. They're like, we're going to have to call your parents. I was like, my parents? And it was a middle school. They thought I was 12. My boyfriend, he thinks this is really funny. And we were at the store the other day and we were walking by where all the carts are. And he tried to see if I could fit into one of the little carts with the cars in front. And I could drive a little car, and that didn't work. And so he decided to pick me up and try to push me in where the little legs go out in the grocery cart. And I was kicking, and I was like, is this abuse or really good sense of humor? And this old lady walks by, and she says, do you need help with your child? I was like, I'm 35. She's like, kids are so difficult at that age. So I'm trying to protest and tell her my real age, and she says, I just slap her. It's like, I may be in my 30s, but I'm calling the CPS on you, Grandma. Worst grandma ever. So I moved in with my boyfriend, and when we were first dating, we were sitting down talking about our relationship, and he says, there's some things that we need to talk about. You've been a little lazy and kind of insecure and a little selfish and not always the best girlfriend. It's like, oh, you called me your girlfriend. And I will never forget that day, ever. It was beautiful. So I'm trying to be the best girlfriend ever, and so on Valentine's Day, I made this amazing dinner, and it took me 10 hours, and it was this slow-roasted pork and apple brine, and I knew he loved it because he took a picture of it and posted it on Facebook. So it was real, and I was so excited. And so, I was like, best girlfriend ever. And then a few months later, we were at the store, and they had pork on sale, and I was like, I can make that meal again for no reason, just because I'm the best girlfriend ever. And he was like, seemed really stressed out the whole time I was like getting all the ingredients. So we were by the apples, and he looked like he wanted to say something. I was like, what's wrong? Do we not have enough money? Or he's like, well, I didn't want to tell you this, but I really didn't like it at all when you made it before. I was like, really? A single tear just rolled down my cheek. And I was like, what else is real? Is everything a lie? Is there anything that I make for you that you like? He's like, well, when you put mushrooms in Hamburger Helper, it's really good. So, yeah, I've been making Hamburger Helper a lot, but I think if you put it on China, it makes it classy, especially when it's China that you got for 60 cents a piece at the Salvation Army. Classy. Oopsie poopsie. Maybe not. So, sorry. So my boyfriend and I were talking about marriage. And he doesn't want to ever get married to me, which is really sweet. And he said, why would you get married when there's a 50% chance of divorce? Would you fly on a plane if it had a 50% chance of crashing? It's like, that's really dramatic. I choose to look at it like the lottery. Like, would you play the lottery if we had it in Hawaii, if you had a 50% chance of winning? Right? Lottery winner right here. Awesome. That was his reaction too, actually. So, not so much. So I'm going to leave you with one last story. Much like marriage, I had salmonella poisoning once. And I don't know if anyone's had really bad food poisoning, but your body, because it has a mind of its own, and it's not a happy mind, it's a sad, angry mind, and it does horrible things. And so I had to go to the hospital, and I said, please put me as close to the bathroom as possible, because I didn't have control of certain bodily functions at that point. And so when they finally got me a bed, it was so far away that it was like the Sahara Desert, and as an oasis, and I could sort of see the bathroom, and I was like, okay, I can do this. And at the moment arose where I had to go, it's like, okay, I can do it. I have 4 seconds, but I can run it. I can go for it. So I started to run, and then right before I got there, I saw this small, innocent-looking child, and he was right in front of the bathroom. And I was like, okay, if I run around him, it will take too long. But that's okay, because I used to do ballet. So it's like, I can clear him. So I started out my jump, and kind of like the Matrix, I was frozen in time. And like the Niagara Falls or a chocolate wedding, like a chocolate fountain at a wedding. I saw his innocence being washed away like the BP oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico. Oopsie poopsie. Literally, oopsie poopsie. Thanks so much.
Maui Live is underwritten by some of Maui's best businesses, like Casanova, with 2 incredible restaurants in Makawao and Kahului. Visit them online at casanovamaui.com. Maui Academy of Performing Arts and the Stepping Stone Playhouse. Visit them online at mauiacademy.org. Mana'o Radio, 91.5 FM, and online at mana'oradio.com. Maui Coffee Roasters, fresh roasted Hawaiian coffee. Visit them online at mauicoffeeroasters.com. Michael McCartney's wardrobe for Maui Live is furnished by him, a men's store featuring shirts, t-shirts, pants, shorts, and accessories. Located at 4310 Lower Honoapi'ilani Road in Kahana. Visit online at himmaui.com. Like Latitudes, furnishings for life. Visit them online at latitudeshawaii.com.
Aloha and welcome back to Maui Live. Our guest is stand-up comic, and I really mean stand-up comic, because look at how high I am. Jason Strahn is joining us. Aloha, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you, Michael.
Cool. I mean, I feel when you first walk in the room, I'm like, there's no way, I can't do this interview at this level. Is that a problem for you in real life?
It is. Actually, the first question everybody asks is like, how tall are you? And it's like, oh, I'm 6 feet 6 inches tall. And, it's not even that. Like, I ran into Michael Magic Johnson in Lahaina the other day, and he's like 6'9", and he still asks, how tall are you? It's like, really? Like, if anybody would have sympathy, it'd be you, Magic.
Well, I would think that just from my experience being here, I mean, I can see that all the door frames need to be dusted at the top. So you really have a different perspective at this level.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's being tall has its perks, but it also has its disadvantages.
Well, how did you get into comedy? I didn't mean to cut you off there, but...
Oh, no, it was kind of a random thing. I'm a graphic designer by trade, and I made a joke to Alexis Jaskulias at the EO Theater. I knew Christmas Carol was coming up, and I said, oh yeah, you need somebody to play Christmas Present, knowing that it was a giant. And she was like, yeah, you're doing it. And I'm like, no, that was just a joke. She's like, no, you're doing it. And I'm like, okay. So I got into theater that way, and then
Kicking and screaming.
Kicking and screaming. I was like, well, I'll try it, give it a shot, why not? And the second show I did was Taming of the Shrew with Chino the Forge. And we got to hang out, and he said, you know,
Were
you're
you the
pretty
shrew,
funny.
though?
No, I was Curtis the bodyguard. I didn't have any lines. I stood in back going like this the whole time. It was wonderful. That's the best way to do Shakespeare, I tell you. So I ended up meeting Curtis, Chino, and we started talking. And he's like, "Hey, you're pretty funny. You should come like do stand up." And I'm like, "Well, I've never done it before." And he's like, "Well, come to one of our shows, see what it's like." And I came to one of the shows, and
But you never sensed that like Chino might be bringing you into some kind of cult?
no, well, you know, I have a lot of faith in Chino, just because he's a pretty funny guy, and you see all the things he does, and he gets everybody laughing. And it's like, well, if I can do even that half as good, it's great. So he brought me in, and I've only been doing it for 6 months to a year now, so I'm still relatively new as far as comedy goes.
So do you find yourself finding inspiration in some of the comics from the past, or guys that are out there now, men and women that are making you laugh?
Yeah, well, you know, there's so many great comedians. George Carlin, Richard Pryor, Louis C.K. nowadays is just awesome. Jon Stewart, I watch The Daily Show regularly. I love that show.
But of course, you don't have the luxury of having 27 writers for you.
Yeah.
For every time you do the show.
So yeah, you get pretty busy, and you just have to pull a lot of inspiration from life. Typically, a lot of the stories that I tell are stories that, you know, when they happened, it was like, oh, this really sucks. That was stupid of me. Why did I do that? But now it's like, hey, that was great. That's hilarious. You know, I need to do more stupid stuff. You know, it's gonna suck for right now, but 20 years from now, gold.
You haven't had any friends or family, catch your act and go, "Oh, come on, man, why are you talking about me?"
Actually, when I first started, my mom called me up and said, "You're not allowed to tell any stories about me." And it's like, well, that's half my material right there. You know? Gee, thanks, Mom.
So would you just change it to Dad?
So I just changed it. Well, most comedy, it seems, at least for me, it's easy to make fun of other people, but it's difficult to make fun of yourself. And I really want to focus on that, so self-deprecating humor, because that's where, you know, it's the most true comedy that I find is when you're making fun of yourself, because it's a form of therapy. You can say, okay, yeah, this was dumb, I made mistakes, but I'm better for it.
You learned it right here on Maui Live.
Yeah.
Self-deprecation is a fantastic thing.
It is.
Let's check out the comedy of our guest, Jason Strahn.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, thank you, everybody. My name is Jason Strahn. Hold on, let me get this mic stand out of the way. I want to make sure you guys can see me. Yeah, that's true. It's disgusting. I am 6 foot 6 inches tall, so that means I really have only two looks, which are giant teddy bear or serial killer. And it sucks because I've tried not to look like a serial killer, but shaved head, skinhead, beard, IRA terrorist. There's nothing I can do. I look scary. And I think it's because of the size. I know it's because of the size. Because I could dress like a clown and I would freak everybody out in this audience. Because clowns, they can be short and fat or tall and skinny. But big and big? No, that's scary. John Wayne Gacy ruined that for all of us. John Wayne Gacy did to clowns what Hitler did to the little mustaches. They can't do it on. I can walk down any street in any city of the world dressed as a clown and never have to worry about getting robbed. So there's that. Let's see, what else? The other good, well, there's definitely some pros and cons to being 6 foot 6 inches tall. For example, pro, you never get lost in a crowd. Con, it is damn hard to hide from the cops in a crowd. Pro, it's very easy to look down women's shirts. even if they're wearing a turtleneck. Con, ceiling fans and doors are not your friend. There's a lot of low bridges in Kihei, I'll just tell you that. Let's see, what else? Oh, pro. Everybody thinks you're a badass, which is lucky because for me, I'm not. I got one move, and that's the windmill. That's this. Luckily, it's unstoppable, so I've never lost a fight. But I have to say the worst thing about being tall is chairs. Any standard chair, your legs fall asleep within 30 seconds, which includes toilets, as you just heard. And I got to tell you, the public bathrooms in Maui are not some place you want to try and get out of with like jiggly legs. Because if you fall, you're not getting back up. And because of that, I've actually gotten fairly Dr. Seussical about pooping. I will not poop on a plane. I will not poop with a goat. I will not poop in the rain. I will not poop on a boat. I will not poop here or there. I will not poop anywhere. All right, well, I think that was the end of that joke. All right, well, thank you so much, everybody. My name's been Jason Strahn.
Maui Live is underwritten by some of Maui's best businesses, like Casanova, with 2 incredible restaurants in Makawao and Kahului. Visit them online at casanovamaui.com. Maui Academy of Performing Arts and the Stepping Stone Playhouse. Visit them online at mauiacademy.org. Mana'o Radio, 91.5 FM, and online at mana'oradio.com. Maui Coffee Roasters, fresh roasted Hawaiian coffee. Visit them online at mauicoffeeroasters.com. Michael McCartney's wardrobe for Maui Live is furnished by him, a men's store featuring shirts, t-shirts, pants, shorts, and accessories. Located at 4310 Lower Hanoa-Pi'ilani Road in Kahana. Visit online at himmaui.com. Like Latitudes, furnishings for life. Visit them online at latitudeshawaii.com.
And now, here's Soul Kitchen.
Chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain of fools. Chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain of fools. Now every chain has got a weak link. I might be weak, oh, but I get it straight. chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain of fools. I'm just one of your fools. You told me to leave you alone. My father said, come on home. My doctor said, take it easy. But your loving is much too strong. I'm added to your chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain of fools. Now one of these mornings, that chain is gonna break. Oh, but until then, baby, I'm gonna take all I can take. Oh, I will. Chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain of fools. Chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Chain, chain, chain. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. I'm just one of your chain of
Thanks for being with us on Maui Live. I'm Eric John Molina, and we'll see you next time.
Well, that's all the time we have for this week's Maui Live, Maui's TV and radio show spotlighting Maui's incredible talent. Maui Live is taped live for television and radio each and every week at various locations around Maui. Maui Live features lots of great music and interviews with local celebrities. Maui Live is a production of Larry John Wright Hawaii and Silver Pixel Studios. See you next week for Maui Live.